Recursion is when a problem is solved by doing the same thing to smaller versions of the problem, and this keeps happening until the problem becomes really easy to solve. Imagine you have a set of Russian nesting dolls. Each doll is smaller and fits inside the bigger doll. Recursion is like opening each doll one by one, starting from the biggest to the smallest, then putting them back together by putting a smaller doll inside a bigger one. Here's how recursion works. 1. Base case. The smallest doll is a special doll since it doesn't have any smaller dolls inside. This is like the base case in recursion. It's where we stop and don't keep opening dolls. 2. Smaller versions. Each time you open a doll, you find a smaller version of the same kind of doll inside. It's like a copy of the doll, but smaller. 3. Repeating the process. Now, do the same thing you did with the big doll to the smaller doll. Repeat the process of opening and finding smaller dolls. We keep doing this until we reach the smallest doll, which is the base case. 4. Putting dolls back. After you finish with the smallest doll, you start putting the dolls back together. Each time you put a smaller doll inside a bigger one, you're returning from the smaller doll to the bigger doll. And that's recursion in action. Here is the code in Python. Let's walk through it. Recursion is when you solve a big problem by breaking it down into smaller versions of the same problem. Each time you work on a smaller version, you're actually solving the same kind of problem, but with fewer things to deal with. This keeps happening until you reach the smallest version of the problem, which you already know how to solve easily. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you enjoyed this tutorial, consider subscribing and liking for more content.